Hey, hey, freaks, geeks, and elites. We're Marley and AJ, and we're here to serve you a 3-course meal of this fortnight's hyper-focused flavors.
So place your napkins, because you know things in our kitchen gonna get messy, and let's get into it.
Lift off!
Apparently I'm doing a bad job at setting expectations and time management.
Yeah,
Which ties into the next topic.
relationships. Yeah, no, that's probably fair. Like, we're a bit scattered this week. Okay, so, when we talk about relationships, we're not just talking about romantic relationships, so marital issues with AJ aside. Friendships,
work relationships,
family, you know,
siblings relationships,
yeah, and
parent-child relationships,
and of course, like this particular topic, we're back under the lens of with ADHD, like the issues and troubles you get. But we're not qualified relationship counselors by any means.
If that's not completely obvious by our
yeah
qualifications, hopefully.
I seem to do an alright job professionally. Like, I seem to do alright with relationship managing and, like, building relationships for work. Like, I can get my business stakeholders to trust me and, like, communicate well with them. Socially, personally, yeah, shit out of luck. Yeah, but there's definitely unique challenges when you have a friendship, relationship, family member with ADHD. Before we dive into them, like the big major call-outs would be like our inattention and distraction, impulsivity issues, difficulty with emotional regulation, forgetfulness. Yeah, these are all big ticket items, and they'll have serious impacts on any sort of relationship. Like, I can speak for myself here. I have almost no friends left, just because, you know, you get a text or a message or something and you go, excellent, that's cool, sweet, and you mean to respond to them, and then something distracts you, and by the time you finish going through tangents, you've noticed it's been a week, and now it's awkward to respond to it, and then it just keeps dragging out because you keep thinking, well, it's just weird to respond to it now. I've lost whole friendships that way. Like, people that I'm not good at reaching out, and then you add in the emotional dysregulation and the bouts of depression and anxiety. I find it very hard to be the first person to reach out because I feel like I'm just bothering people and being a nuisance.
That's a big one for me too. I mentally really struggle with, I'm just gonna annoy this person by talking to them. I don't want to be annoying. I want to be sure that this person wants to engage with me. So yeah, quite often I will just hesitate where, like, any normal human being with a neurotypical brain would be like, oh, I'll just send this person a text out of the blue, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm, like, you know, going around in spirals in my brain going, they don't want to hear from me. Why would they want a message from me? They're just going to be annoyed, and then they're not going to reply, and that means they definitely hate me.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And I also have this problem where thinking about doing a thing equates to I have done it.
Yes, that is a very big one.
So the one that would probably happen to me is the person sends me a text saying, oh, do you want to hang out? In my brain, I have replied either like, oh, sure, let me check my calendar or whatever. And then I go back, 2 weeks later, like, what happened with that thing?
Yep.
I never actually replied. I'm an idiot. And then you feel self-conscious because you brain farted and you don't really want to admit it.
And after the 50th time of explaining it to them, it feels like, you're just making excuses, even though that's legitimately what's happened. Yeah. And like that inattention and distraction, it can make people feel unvalued, or like you don't prioritize them, or they're not important to you. So there becomes a bit of a feedback loop there where you're not reaching out to them, so they feel like they're putting in all the work. You don't hear from them, so you think that they're just not interested in having that friendship with you anymore, and before you know it, it's broken.
Yeah.
So it can be a real struggle. I know for my stance, and I'm sure it's similar for a lot of people, even without ADHD, people with anxiety and depression struggle with this sort of thing, and you end up with this overwhelming sense of loneliness because you don't have any close connections at all. Like, putting aside any sort of sense of romantic aloneness, I feel alone on a fundamental level because I don't have any close friends or confidants or nobody I can reach out to when my depression is the worst and I really need to feel connected to someone because I feel like a bother. I feel like all I ever do is tell them bad shit that's going on. I don't mind ranting to you because you come from the same workplace, so you find some of this shit hilarious now that you're out.
That's true.
So while you...
But I also think we align a lot really well, so we're already kind of familiar with our own foibles, and we see the echoes of that in the other. I'm not saying we're exactly the same or anything. We're certainly
God no
takes on things, but we're enough alike that I get it when you say, "Oh, sorry, I just spaced out on that one." I'm like, and that's where I think there is that tendency for people who are neurodivergent, older friends are neurodivergent.
Well,
they just get it.
I would have to dig it out, but I actually remember reading the results of a study once that basically said neurotypical people, we get picked on and ostracized and don't form connections because neurotypical people actually pick up on something's wrong with us. They don't know what it is. So we become basically targets.
Weird.
We are weird. But not all of us are weird in obvious ways. Yeah. But it's almost like a weird psychological uncanny valley effect. Maybe we should explain that. So anyone who's never heard of it, the uncanny valley theory is that when you have AI or, toys or anything like that, robots is the best example. And the more there's this effect where the more human they seem, the more people like them and gel with them until they get to that point where they're almost perfect, but something is not quite right, and then there's a major sudden dip of hostile feelings towards them. And they put it down to primitive hindbrain sort of thing where something is not quite right and you start thinking plague and stuff, so you try to stay away from them for your own survival. But and then once that resolves and they start becoming even more human, it starts going up again, which is why it's a valley. So that's the uncanny valley. So we act like them, but not quite in a way that jars them. So I think we've sort of covered how inattention and distraction and forgetfulness comes into play. They're the fairly obvious ones. Impulsivity is a bit more of an interesting one because a lot of people think, the impulsive thing's kind of cute. You do spontaneous things, but it filters into everything. It's I mentioned before in previous podcasts that lack of filter between brain and mouth and spontaneously saying things. And that can be a real problem in the middle of, a group setting where you get really excited about something and it's come out of your mouth before you really... You come across as immature. You can come across as rude because you've cut people off. Disruptive. Inconsiderate, just... generally, and it's legitimately not that you're dismissing anyone. You're excited to get involved. You're excited to work this out because you can take part. You can participate. So it just comes out before you.
I want to share that connection of I get it. I'm excited about the thing.
I understand what we're talking about this time. I got it. I got all of the context and I know what's going on. I'm so excited. But it can be very frustrating to people. So you just come across as a nuisance, frustration, rude, childish.
We're just awkward.
We're just awkward.
So much socially awkward where I can tell people are just tolerating.
Yeah. That's basically the story of my life. And that one starts going hand in hand with, like, the emotional regulation issues, because you get really excited. I've noticed this happens sometimes when I actually do feel like I'm starting to form a connection with someone, and it feels like it's going well, and then my excitement levels start going up at a disproportionate rate because of that lack of regulation. And that's when it starts going wrong, because now I start blurting things out and getting excited and wanting to say too much, share every story I've ever had in my life that was remotely funny or interesting in the space of 30 seconds. So, yeah, it makes it very hard to form connections. On the flip side of that, it's really hard to do conflict resolution and have disagreements as well, because the emotional dysregulation also goes in the stress, frustration, and, you know, so I found myself having interesting conversations with, say, my sister about political stuff. And because I feel like I'm not being heard, I start getting slowly wound up and more frustrated, and then it just spikes. Yeah. And all of a sudden, I can't remember how to use English words. I need to get things out there. I'm yelling it because I'm frustrated, and I couldn't calm myself enough to try and get it out there the 15th time for you to understand what the hell it is I just said. Obviously, yelling and frustration and getting emotionally wound up like that does not make for good conflict management or, you know, dispute resolution.
Or even just, like, getting your point across.
Yes.
Feeling heard.
Yeah. Because, like, the best way to get your point across is to try and be calm and rational. Don't devolve into name-calling and, you know, and as soon as you can't get the words out because you're that angry, you've lost the fight. You've lost the debate. Whatever you're trying to do, they're not listening anymore because you've gotten too emotional. So, yeah, these are, like, some of the biggest challenges for people with ADHD in, you know, managing any sort of relationship, because everyone likes to feel valued and heard, and like you've regulated your time properly. You know, everyone needs to feel important with it. Friendships, their families, their relationships. You know, we don't make it easy on you. We acknowledge that we don't make it easy on you. Let's talk about maybe some coping strategies. There are ways to work around this. You can.
Strategy.
And there are pros and cons to any strategy you do try and implement. Like, you can use tools and have calendars and alerts and reminders and stuff. And some people are always going to see that as, oh, I'm not important enough for you to just remember. And frankly, those are the people who aren't trying to actually understand what you're trying to achieve in the first place. So those are the narcissists and the main characters of the world who think, if I was important, you'd just remember. Doesn't work that way. Sorry, love.
My brain was better than I just remember.
Yes. Yes. So, you know, it's not that you're not important.
I can't even just remember my own shit that's important to me.
I'm named my kid, and sometimes I can't remember his name in the middle of a conversation. Okay? Yes. So it's not a matter of importance, it's a matter of my brain just doesn't function some days under some situations. Then there are other times when we remember everything. Everything. That's when you're in trouble. Because, like, when we remember everything, we remember everything. Because it's become a hyper-focus now, and we've remembered every detail of that conversation and what everyone agreed to and what you were supposed to do.
And in 2002, you said...
Yes. Yep.
That phrase. And now you are contradicting yourself.
Yes.
And I'm going to use that against you.
Yep. Yes, it happens. We also go the other way sometimes. But yes, there's nothing wrong with using tools. And the more people use things like social media, even the neurotypical people are forgetting birthdays and things because they're relying more on reminders from Facebook to tell them when it's coming up and all of that jazz. So it's not just us. Don't blame that.
Well, and I think that there is a little bit of a reality that the way we celebrate stuff has shifted. I remember my dad, when he married my stepmom, being really upset because we didn't give them a card. No, we just got on a plane and spent thousands of dollars to be there in person.
Well, at least this time...
You're gonna ding me about a card?
Hey, look, at least now you know the next major celebration you can stay home and just send a card, because that's the important thing.
like, a part of me got where he was coming from, because that's what his generation do. You give people a card to celebrate, or you give them a gift with it, you know. But we have a very different society now with different structures to it.
So, like, other tools you can use is, like, having structured communication approaches. So, like, you know, when you have to have an important conversation, don't meet in a cafe to talk. There's too much ambient noise. It's hard for us to filter it out. It's hard for us to focus and stay not distracted. Important conversations that need to be had, better off done in a house setting, or, you know, a park is fine, maybe not. There might be a few too many distractions there, but if you really want to convey an important message and have a heartfelt conversation, don't do it in a public setting. Like, just really, don't have the TV going in the background, because we will get distracted by the Vegemite ad. You know,
as much as I like socializing with people in pubs, those are the worst places to have meaningful conversations. I just cannot pick out your voice out of the 50 other voices in the room, plus the background music, plus...
Okay, so I can't talk for, like, all ADHD people or autistic people or anything, but for me, when you're in a restaurant or something with a lot of people, it basically becomes, like, a really loud ear ringing, and, like, I already have some hearing loss as well, so when I'm trying to focus in on what any one particular person is saying and there's that level of ambient noise around me, I literally cannot hear it. It all blurs together.
Struggle. It feels like a wall of sound just hitting you, and you can't actually pick out in, you know, distinct threads.
Yeah.
It just all blends together and you get mental overload.
Remind me to dig out for the show notes for this, that there's a very short video that Rory, who's, like, she's an ADHD influencer. She lives with ADHD and her partner doesn't have it, and they do a lot of videos about living with someone with ADHD and all of that stuff. But she's also a musician. I like her music. But anyway, she did a video of this is what it's like for ADHD trying to hear what you're saying when there's sound around. And I was watching it going, oh my god, yes, this is exactly it. So, but just like the way, like, the noise level kept going up, and you couldn't hear her anymore, and she did it all with sound effects to simulate what it's like for us when we're in that level of ambient noise. So I'll dig it out and we'll put it in the link in the show notes.
Cool.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Yeah, and I think it's also good to, like, just get clarity. Like, if you're a neurotypical person and you think, you know, you're having a friendship or a relationship with a person you know is ADHD or you suspect might be ADHD, tell them what's important to you up front. Don't assume that everybody knows the unwritten rules of socializing. Don't assume that
we're very bad at context setting.
A card is more important than showing up.
Yes.
An international flight.
Yes.
You know, like, just be clear up front, because I don't do those things. I just don't understand those rituals. I need them spelled out explicitly for me.
Yeah. If something just really is uber important for you, spell it out.
Tell me that you want me to phone call you on your birthday and sing happy birthday.
Yep. And if you tell me that it's really important that I remember all your dates without any apps or reminders, we just can't be friends, okay?
That's unrealistic.
Yeah, it is unrealistic, but if that's what you expect, then it's good to spell it out early so nobody wastes everyone's time and get upset. Yeah,
so we can just say, nice knowing you.
Yeah.
I can't achieve that.
Yeah.
It's not you, it's me.
So the other one, the last one that I've got on my little list here of things that I'd like to cover with coping strategies is actually ties in with our other R, establishing rituals. So, you know, it helps us set context of what's expected for us within this relationship. You know, if we have a shared hobby, that's good because we've got some context setting there of things that are okay to talk about and get excited about, and, you know, with having set times within romantic relationships, it sounds very unromantic, but having set times for specific things you do together actually helps us understand where we stand in the relationship, what's going on, what to expect. You know, some of the most romantic things in the world are not anything anyone would consider romantic. You know, I've always been a massive supporter of the idea of you coming home with a Freddo frog for me because you thought of me while you were at the checkout is more romantic than you getting a Skyrider to say I love you. Big gestures to me are performative, but little things that show you thought of me when I wasn't there, that's true romance, to me.
Well, and if it's something that you know is meaningful to you, like when I met Adam, I hadn't really had a lot of relationships, but they were all the kinds where it's like, I got you a stuffed bear with a heart that says I love you. Like, the first gift that Adam ever sent me was a book on philosophy called Sophie's World. I'm like, okay, I've met the person who gets me.
Yep.
I mean, the bear was cute. It was fine. I don't hate stuffed animals, but it didn't really say
it's
anything
generic
about me.
And it shows no thought, and yeah,
it doesn't say I know who you are, but the book did, and that was like
that's when you knew he was a keeper.
This person, good person.
Yeah,
I will stick with this person.
Yeah, because having those rituals and having those key touchstones within a relationship also help us with things like gift getting. Like, I like to try and pick the right gift for people, but I often don't put the pieces together to really understand what people like, because they don't hyper-focus the way I do and get obsessive about things the way I do. It's not in my face and obvious what they find funny as a funny gift or romantic as a romantic gesture. So I do need things like that spelt out for me, and having like those touchstones and rituals of knowing the tides, I guess, of our relationship help. They really help me. So, once upon a time, a long time ago, when I was still a stupid, naive girl, I thought things like Valentine's Day were romantic. And, I kept ending up with people who just didn't think that it was an important thing, and they just ignored it. And that would set me up for heartbreak and upset, because I thought that meant I was unimportant, and it doesn't. It means they thought Valentine's Day was unimportant, which is a big difference from thinking because I make links in different ways, I linked it that way, so I was unimportant. So things like that need to be spelt out sometimes, especially with people like us. You need to actually explicitly have those conversations. What do you think about Valentine's Day? If it's important to you, you need to figure out how important it is and whether or not they're willing to compromise on, okay, I get that it's important to you, so I'm willing to make a bit of an effort. So, it just... It's true of pretty much any relationship. You just need to be a little bit more obviously explicit about it with us.
Yeah. And, I think that level of transparency isn't necessarily a bad thing in any type of relationship.
Correct. I think more communication would be good, and it'd be beneficial to the entire world if more people would realise that, there is no, if it was meant to be and we were meant for each other, there'd be no fighting because we'd just click. Can we stop romanticising that idea? Okay, relationships, any type, romantic, friendship, whatever, takes work and effort on both sides.
Yeah, people who never fight are the shallowest relationships on the planet.
People who never fight are bedlam bottomized.
Yeah, if you're not passionate about something to never have an argument with someone you care about, then what are you doing?
Yeah, but it's not all doom and gloom. There are some serious benefits to, having friendships or relationships with people with ADHD. We are highly spontaneous, and if you need a bit of that in your life, but you're, more structured and rigid, we bring that. We tend to be strong in creativity, innovation, problem-solving type spaces, so, we have a lot to bring to that. We also tend to be really enthusiastic and passionate about things. And while we talk about emotional dysregulation, we also have a lot of emotional depth as well, so we tend to bring a lot of emotion Some people see that as a negative. I don't. I think that, life should be loud, colourful, and full of joy and happiness and occasional tears because of a depression seg. If you live your life numb, what was the point? Impulsivity and spontaneity also translates to, playfulness. We tend to be quite playful. We're pretty good for, dragging out introverted or more closed-in neurodivergent people along. I don't want to say pull them out of their shells, because that's not necessarily right, but inject some life of colour into their blanket fort.
I love blanket forts.
I love blanket forts, yes. And blanket burritos.
We don't really have enough blankets to do a blanket fort at the moment. That's something that we need to correct, because I used to make some epic blanket forts.
I was reading a thing too that ADHD people tend to be extremely committed and loyal when they do commit to relationships. And I thought, that can't be right. We're so distractible and all over the place, it just can't be right. And then I sat down and I took stock of, my relationship history, and I went, yeah. Once I make a decision and commit, I really do try everything to make it work before I'm willing to concede defeat. And that has been a real problem. real problem.
It's a double-edged sword, because
it
sometimes
really
you need
is.
to know when to get out.
And a lot of it, I also blame myself for it. It's not working because of me, and I'm not doing something right. I'm too clingy, I'm too emotional, it's really easy to flip it and try and blame ourselves. But we're supposed to be on the positives now. But yes, we are very loyal and we are very committed. But the whole point of that was I read about it and I was like, that can't be right. And when I looked through my history of everything, I was like, yeah, it actually does apply to me. Yeah. Cool. I knew I was loyal, but I thought commitment was the sticking point for me. And I'm like, no, I actually do get very committed.
Yeah, I think that it's too glib to say that because ADHD people are distractible that means they can't commit. It's like when we do, it's all in.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're highly authentic as well, and a lot of that's got to do with that spontaneity and lack of impulse control. We can't hide who we are for a long time.
Terrible liar.
Yeah, if there are red flags to be had, they come out early. So that's good. Basically, we're genuine, loyal people who bring fun to life. What's not to love? Yeah. We also come with a side dish of frustration sometimes, but it'd be fun.
Awkward moments.
Yeah, many awkward moments. Oversharing. Yes, definitely that too.
Fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Yep. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about musical tastes and stuff, shall we?
We shall. Where do we want to start?
That's a really good question.
Sorry, I was laughing because there was a small child with a rodent behind me.
Look, I slowed down because it was a nice little beat going up the stairs, and then they slowed down. So it was like dun 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 dun.
Yeah. There was a pause so that the pet rat could make it on camera.
Oh, I see. That's what was going on. Very good.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Music. I feel like my musical taste is a lot like my taste in hobbies, which is a little bit of everything. It's probably easier for me to talk about what I don't like than what I do like. Yeah, my working knowledge of music theory ended in 8th grade when I stopped taking band. So I know what I like the sound of.
I did my time in school doing the instruments. I started playing the baritone and, made my way through trombone, trumpet, euphonium. Most things brass with a slide or 3 valves, except French horn. So, I've done my time.
Nice.
It's just...
I was just clarinet. I dabbled one afternoon on violin, but mostly clarinet. Didn't even try any of the other woodwinds.
I was thinking about trying clarinet out. Because, with the teeth and everything, I can't do brass anymore, obviously. There's too much of a gap in my teeth to consider flute, because, you know, the tooth gap screws up wind flow.
Okay.
But clarinet is basically a fancy recorder, and I can play a recorder. And I wanted a guitar. I tried guitar as a kid, and I don't have... It's probably, again, the ADHD thing. I just don't have enough burning interest in it, or tolerance for being uncomfortable to build the calluses on your fingers that you need.
I am self-taught guitar, and I like the idea of guitar, but it's kind of like touching on that hobby thing of like wanting a goal. Like, I always want to be able to play songs I like, and then get stuck on that because I don't have the mastery yet to even switch. Like, I can strum the same chord over and over, and then I switch chords, and I'm like, oh, wait. Okay, that finger goes there, that finger goes there, that finger goes there. No, wait, that finger goes there. And, like, you know, the moment's gone.
Yeah. Like,
and even ukulele, I have a ukulele, and I noodle around with that sometimes, and it's easier on the hands, but it's still, like, I don't have the muscle memory yet, and I don't have the discipline to build up the muscle memory. So, yeah, someday when I have less things on my plate, maybe I will make more time for it. But right now, it's not going to happen. So I like the idea of playing the guitar or the ukulele more than actually playing.
I've always loved the idea of the piano, but I
too.
just don't have the hand-eye coordination for it. I really don't. So I could probably get one hand going and the other hand, but both at the same time. It's just not going to happen. And so that really leaves me back just with woodwind. And clarinet seemed like it might be the best go for me. Maybe. I don't know.
I liked the clarinet. My parents didn't like me playing the clarinet, but I did. There were too many times where, like, I just blew a little too hard or broke a reed or something, and I went...
Yeah, just let them... Just you know, if it ever comes up in conversation, just tell them to be thankful that, you know, it wasn't brass. All brass is loud. Bad brass is really loud and bad.
Yeah.
At least you'll like the occasional squeak and shit, but yeah, brass is all loud. And violins, there's nothing worse than beginner violins, I swear to God. Violins are lovely when they're played by someone who knows what they're doing. When it's a 6-year-old learning, it's all screeches.
So it's all cat being attacked by another cat.
Yeah, Beth was one in the family that did the violin, and she got quite good at it, so she did, you know, if you get past that, it's fine. Daniel did saxophone, and he was never particularly dedicated. I think I tried to force him into that more than he actually wanted to do it.
I was kind of wondering, because so I like a lot of different genres of music, but there are definitely like ones that I'll always circle back to. What's your comfort music when you're feeling like you need just something that feels safe and nice?
So it depends on why I'm going to it. If I'm feeling kind of depressed, sad, sometimes I'll go for the nostalgia and just wallow in sad, because sometimes that's all you need. It feels good. Sometimes it depends on if you're trying to pick yourself up to, I'm very, very distractible. I'm like you. I like music from across most genres. There's certain genres that I've not found anything in that I wanted. Like when it comes to like the hardcore death thrash metal stuff, I found nothing in there that jives with me. And that's not to say it's not music and it's not, you know, people can't like it. I just haven't found anything in there for me. Very little in the country offerings that I've enjoyed, but the ones I do tend to enjoy tend to be more American country than Australian country. I haven't found a lot in Australian country that I've really liked. Other than that, like, I've got things I like from, you know, hip-hop, blues, jazz, pop, the softer realms of the metal, so symphonic and into just the generic metal. You know, I did my dash as a kid doing the you know, Sepultura and Pantera and all of that, but like they're not my go-tos anymore. Most of my go-tos when I need comfort tend to be more in the realm of Dr. Hook, Harry Chapin, Frank Sinatra. I do prefer Deep Mountain to Frank Sinatra though, so I tend to go to him a bit more than Frank. Billy Joel, did I mention that?
My cousin and I had a real Billy Joel phase to the point where I was pretty sure it was 6th grade. So year 6, I would have been 11-ish. And my cousin was like 2 years younger than me, and I don't know why, we were just obsessed with Billy Joel at that stage, and also Genesis, but definitely Billy Joel. And for some reason, one of my classmates had printed out all the lyrics to "We Didn't Start the Fire" because it had all those key historical events in it, so it's something to do with like world history or something like that, or like modern history. And I was like, "Oh, can I have that?" So I took, she was done with the assignment. She's like, "Yeah, why? Okay, here." We sat down and we memorized the entire lyrics so we could just sing along to that song. But that whole album, I remember, and also, was it the same album? I can't remember now, but the one where he had the song Downeaster Alexa, I really loved because I grew up on a Downeaster, so for me, even though it was on a totally different coast and different vibe, I really liked that song a lot too.
I know that Billy Joel tends to be, he actually does tend to be polarizing. Like, a lot of the musical snobs are like, but I actually really enjoy him, and I appreciate him as an artist as well. Like, he went, these are the albums, I've done everything that I wanted to do, I'm not going to keep making just for the sake of making, I'm done.
Yeah.
And he's actually said that in interviews and stuff, where apparently Elton John's given him grief because he's only released X number of albums, and why didn't he keep doing it? And Billy Joel's response is basically, "Why didn't you stop?"
Oh, snap.
So,
I do see Billy Joel as almost like a class divide, kind of.
It is a little, isn't it?
He's very blue collar, and not that I'm the world's most blue collar. I mean, I had the most upper middle class upbringing he could probably have in some ways. But yeah, I feel like maybe there's a little bit of classism with Billy Joel, because he's got a lot of his songs are very working class.
Yep.
But he's not Bruce Springsteen or something, where it's kind of like that sort of, I don't know, manly working class because he plays the piano. I don't know. Maybe he's just a weird niche or something like that.
There's weird crossovers between the bands that are nostalgic for me from my childhood and everything. It's turns out Bruce Springsteen once opened for Dr. Hook before he got big. Yep.
That's funny.
Billy Joel did some work in opening for Harry Chapin.
Okay.
And he actually performed and spoke at Harry's. They did I think it was 25 years since his death, big fundraiser thing or something. So Billy appeared in that. But yeah, there's a lot of crossover, because back then everyone was working hard to make their way into the industry, and nowadays it seems to be either you got there through YouTube-y stuff or daddy funded. It's just,
well, there's the whole model now for promoting music has turned on its head, right? Because you can actually self-publish in a way, but it's both easier and harder, right? Because of the long tail, you're not going to get as much exposure.
Yep.
But you can just make a song and chuck it up there, and people can start hearing it. So yeah, it's just a different world, I think.
It is, but my biggest problem with a lot of the modern stuff is the pursuit of perfection and auto-tune has taken a lot of the soul out of music for me. While there's plenty in the pop scene that I enjoy just as a boppy.
Quite easily.
Yeah, you got to go digging through indie stuff, and it's really hard to find ones that you like, because they're not exactly pushed up to the top for you to find easy.
That's true.
So.
Dr. Kate Bauer, she introduced me to this thing called Music League, where it's basically... The way it works is you get a group of people and you have a theme, and it's tied into your Spotify account, so you have to have Spotify, but everybody submits their entry for that round. And then once everybody gets their nominees in, everybody votes for their favorite. And it's like, it's ranked. So like you give your favorite 3 points, you give your second favorite 2 points or whatever, and you can downvote things that you really hate.
Okay. I might have to check this out.
That was really cool. I did a few of those. I always did really poorly. Like, people don't like my musical taste, which is fair enough. I know I have a weird musical taste. But she did this one that she called A Pack-a-Punch, where we had to choose different songs from different Asia-Pacific countries. Mm-hmm. So she went all around. And I was like, Taiwan, Korea, Japan, Indonesia, Australia, and New Zealand were ones, obviously, as well. But I had a lot of fun because it forced me to go looking for stuff from places where I normally didn't listen. And I actually found, like, there's this one Taiwanese math rock band that I really like now that I never would have gone looking for it. So I think sometimes there's some benefit in stretching your comfort zone a little bit if you have the time and the headspace or the right motivation to go and sort of seek out the weird corners of Spotify or even Bandcamp or something that's more supportive of artists.
Yep.
I had fun doing that. That was like a really different experience for me, eye-opening. Because like I felt like I had to do it to get my nominations in, because if you didn't submit a nomination, you couldn't vote.
Yep.
So I really wanted to make sure that I didn't lose that round because I forgot to find something.
3 out of my top 5 all-time I can't stand them songs are actually from artists or bands that I like. Otherwise. So I really like listening to albums. Like I don't often make a playlist. I usually like just picking, I feel like this album, and I'll listen to it beginning, middle, and end. Except there's always one song that I'm like, oh, I just don't like this song. Skip. I don't think there's ever been a single album that I've enjoyed every single song on, and I don't skip any.
I have a few, but not many.
I used to, back when I had a car that actually had, like, you know, inbuilt Bluetooth, so you had the skip and volume and everything on the steering wheel, so you could easily skip everything. I'd get in the car, I wouldn't know what I was in the mood for, so I'd just put everything on and skip what I didn't feel like. And I spent more time driving, skipping songs, looking for something I felt like listening to, than actually listening to anything, because my phone is full of everything from classical, country, you know, everything, Christmas carols, everything is in there. So, and what I feel like singing along to right this second is about this much compared to what's on my phone.
That can be hard.
Basically just put it on shuffle, surprise yourself, and keep skipping until you find something that you can settle in. So but two of the songs in my top 5 all-time hated songs list. Do you remember back when PlayStation had SingStar or whatever?
Yeah.
Our family enjoyed that. Right, we actually enjoyed playing that. I don't know why none of us can sing worth a shit.
Maybe that's why.
Well, we were just having fun. But they had Step by Step and Achy Breaky Heart on the ones that we had.
Achy Breaky Heart, no.
Right, Daniel liked both those songs, and I hate both of them, actually, with equal passion. So, because he liked them, he got to choose one, and he was never allowed to do the other one. Ever. So he had to pick. I think he ended up going with Step by Step, which is fine. But he's remembered to this day that I hate those songs, so whenever he feels like annoying me, they come out. Another one that I hate, really annoys me, and he does it to me as well, is We Will Rock You.
Oh, okay.
It's just...
Yeah, it's not my favourite Queen song. It's a little...
It's kind of boring, it's kind of dull, and it's been done so often in our generation that I'm just over it.
There's so many better songs by Queen, I think, is the thing.
Who Wants to Live Forever? Show Must Go On. That Bottom Girls is fucking banging. But we Will Rock You. No. We Are the Champions drives
like
me nuts as well, but I don't hate it. Yeah. But just to complete the top 5, I hate Sylvia's Mother by Dr. Hook. Cannot stand it. It gets skipped the second I hear the opening. And Uptown Girls by Billy Joel. Cannot stand it.
It's an okay song, but I can see why it's not your favorite.
Yeah. It's repetitive, annoying, kind of nasally and overplayed, and I'm just not here for it.
I think a big factor in all of those is they kind of get played a lot.
Yeah. But I tend to like songs that tell a story or have a lot of emotion in them, and Uptown Girl just never really felt like it had a lot of emotion. Like, Billy Joel's got so many other really amazing songs in his discography if you want real emotion. You know, This Night, Honesty, I love Honesty. He's got a little bit that's never made it as a full song, but it's on his interviews on his greatest collection called Souvenir that I actually really, really loved. Good Night, My Angel, Lullaby.
Yeah,
beautiful
I love that
song.
One. That's so beautiful.
Yep. So, you know, and Anthony's song. I love Anthony's song. Yeah, but Uptown Girls is just never making the cut for me.
It's pretty much bubblegum pop, you know. It's a pretty shallow one.
But so is Keep the Faith. It's bubblegum pop, but I love Keep the Faith.
But it's very, like you say, like the lyrics are
tells more of a song,
have a
bit story. Yeah,
of a story. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Come on, what are your all-time top 5 hated songs should burn in a fire?
So there was one, I can't remember the name of it. I spent a lot of time in my early 20s driving around listening to Dido's No Angel, and there was one on there. I have to look it up. I love her voice.
Oh, Dido's got an amazing voice.
Yeah. Don't Think of Me. I hate that song. I don't know why. For some reason, it just sounds like the worst of, like, shitty teen romance. I don't know. I just never liked that song, and I didn't like the sound of it. So it was one of those, like, albums where I would obsess over every other song. As soon as we got to that one, I would say, skip it.
Yep. There.
I don't know if that's my top 5 hated songs, but it's definitely one. I mean, there were a lot that got a lot of, like, radio play. Yeah. Where I just, like...
As a general rule, anything overplayed...
I hate that song, but I can't think of it off of the top of my head.
Well, it's like Nutbush City Limits, isn't it? Like, I don't know if you've got the same intense... I'm so over this as I do since you moved over here at 25, but growing up over here in Australia, blue light discos for... you know, primary and early high school were a real thing, and Nutbush City Limits were played, like, every time, and... Yeah, it just...
Yeah, see, I don't have the association with doing the Nutbush and stuff like that. Although I love Tina Turner, and I love a lot of her music.
Yep.
All of that style, like soul and Motown and funk, even though I'm probably the least likely looking person to be into that. Just love...
Like what you like. You do you, babe.
Gladys Knight and the Pips. Oh... I could just listen to that all day.
Andrew's Sisters is always fun. Like, if you really want to go way back machine.
I'm okay with the Andrews Sisters. If I was going in that era, I'd be more like Ella Fitzgerald or even like Benny Goodman or something like that. I had a real swing music phase when that was a thing in the 90s. But yeah, I'm trying to think, is there anything else?
Swing music is fun. I like swing music.
Think of. I don't know. I feel like
I went through a whole rockabilly phase where I fell in love with Lady Lane. The Snowdroppers. I really liked the Snowdroppers.
Oh, the Snowdroppers are good.
So much fun. I got to go see them live in Hobart, of all places.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
That sounds like a story.
It's not really a big story. I got right into them. I really enjoyed them. I kept looking for them touring, and they were nowhere around. I just happened to be down in Tasmania visiting Dad, and they were going to be in Hobart. So
okay.
I got
so
tickets.
It's a synchronicity thing.
Yeah, so I dragged Dad and my stepbrother along. I wasn't particularly worried about it, since Dad is mostly the Doctor Who fan in family, so I wasn't particularly worried about him listening to songs like Good Drugs and Bad Women. Because they're basically just the modern versions of I Got Stoned and I Missed It. So, no problem. Yeah.
I really like, also, not quite in that vein, but sort of, it's not really rockabilly, but C.W. Stone King, have you ever listened to his stuff? It's almost a little bit more old school than rockabilly, like 30s or 40s sounding. But he's a modern artist, but he does more of that style.
Yep.
And I really liked Kitty, Daisy, and Lewis when they were huge. I listened to a lot of that.
I still have a really big soft spot for Red Gum, even though because they were kind of political folk from the 80s. They're kind of, it's very hard to get a lot of their references now for newer listeners. But they're the people originally.
Oh, I was only 19.
Yes.
Okay, I just didn't know. I didn't make the connection.
Yeah, it's probably their only
I haven't heard
big
a lot
hit.
Of their other stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I highly recommend One More Boring Night in Adelaide. I love any song that starts with, well, it's one more boring Thursday night in Adelaide. And I think that everybody must have died.
Look, Adelaide's not as boring as Perth, though. At least I could find places to eat in Adelaide after 5 o'clock.
Well, in fairness to them, they were from Adelaide, so they're allowed to badmouth their own city.
They're allowed to diss it. Yeah,
so
that's true.
Yeah, but they were mostly like political folk sort of music.
Okay.
So,
well, that makes sense with I Was Only 19 as such a classic, folky political song. Yeah, in that vein.
Yeah, it bugs me though because I Was Only 19 gets pulled out every Anzac Day. And it annoys me because that's about the Vietnam conflict. Yeah. Whereas, and the band played Waltzing Matilda is an amazing song, and it's actually about Gallipoli. So
that doesn't stop people from just going for the easy option, right?
Yeah, I know. And I mean, realistically, band play Waltzing Matilda is more blatantly black and depressing, so probably makes more sense.
Alright, so number 1 most hated song, Barbie Girl by Aqua. It's the worst song known to humanity. It seriously makes me wish for the end of the human race. And then, second runner-up, I Am, I Said by Neil Diamond. I hate that song. Mm-hmm. It's trash. It's a song that's really pompous and tries to sound like it's saying something profound, but when you look at the lyrics, it's like, this is just so weak sauce.
Yeah, see, to me, you just basically describe most of the Beatles' discography. I hate the Beatles with a deathly passion. I really... They've got a couple of songs in there that I'd sing along to, but I wouldn't voluntarily go look for and listen to them. I hate the Beatles. There was a meme that was doing the rounds that was like a photo of the Beatles, and someone had put the comment in there that the Beatles weren't actually good, they just happened to be the first boy band after women were allowed to be horny. Yeah. And I'm like, I 100% agree with that.
I don't love the Beatles enough to argue with you, but I will say that Sgt. Pepper holds a special place in my heart. It's more of a nostalgia thing though, because I listened to it a lot at a certain age.
See, additional hot takes. I hate Elvis.
Oh, I really
hate Elvis.
Love Me Tender can go jump off a bridge. A lot of Elvis songs I don't love. Mm-hmm. Never liked Elvis. My parents didn't like Elvis.
Yeah, I think it's
we were not Elvis
entirely
people.
overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, see previous comments re women finally being allowed to be horny. I think that's
well,
what
that
it all
and
boils
a
down
white
to.
person capitalizing on black sound.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So-
But, I mean that's all throughout the music. industry.
Oh yeah, but like
So,
to me that was like the
first one to
most
do it.
blatant. Like I just dislike everything about. It's like I got nothing. If I could find a way to blame him for global warming and the deterioration
The
of society.
whole style.
So I know it's unpopular opinion in some circles, but I have no hatred for musicals. So
Yeah. If it's a good musical, there are bad musicals, as we've discussed previously.
I know, but like again, some of it's like a taste thing. And was it you I told about Shock Treatment?
I don't know. I was thinking of the Beetlejuice musical that you.
Yeah, I did not like. But one of my like guilty pleasures is Rocky Horror Picture Show. Everyone knows Rocky Horror Picture Show. Are you aware of the prequel?
Oh, okay. No, I.
Or it's not a sequel. It's called Shock Treatment.
Yeah.
And it is honestly one of the worst things in the world, and I love it.
I definitely am not immune to the pleasures of it so bad it's good. Like, I have my
Check
own
it out and let me
genres of
know
that.
if you think it's so bad it's
Okay.
good or if it's just bad.
Which is bad.
Like Richard O'Brien did do the writing for it again, so it is but we've got banger songs in there like Little Black Dress, Shock Treatment, Dear Toaster, or Dear Blender.
Dear Blender.
Yes. So the whole thing is like pitched as like they're in a TV studio and it's a whole bunch of different TV shows and reality TV and stuff.
Yeah.
And so one of them is Brad and Janet are on a game show and like they're singing while they're going through all the prizes you can win and ads and stuff. It's like, Dear Blender, won't you help a first offender? Oh, Toaster. Yeah, it is so bad. I can't state this enough. It is bad. Okay, you may just hate it, but that's why I said it's a guilty pleasure. Okay.
Yes.
So the Bridge O'Brien's in it. The lady who played Magenta is in it. So is the one who played Columbia. Unfortunately, no Tim Curry.
That's a mark against it, but
I know, right?
It may survive.
Yeah. So, so check it out. I actually only accidentally found it because when I bought my DVD of Rocky Horror Picture Show, it was a 2-pack and it came with Shock Treatment as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, Anywho, but against the popular wisdom of the world, I absolutely can't stand Cats. Even before the movie came out, I hated that musical. It's got a couple of good songs in it, and that's it.
I never really. I definitely own up to liking Phantom of the Opera, for example.
I like Phantom of the Opera. I like Jesus Christ Superstar.
I have been to. I like
Evita.
Jesus Christ Superstar. Joseph and the Amazing Technical Color Dreamcoat. I can't say it.
That is like that's our family's go-to musical, and it is the Donny Osmond version on DVD.
And even like old Hollywood musicals, like
Singing in the Rain.
Judy Garland. Oh, I could just watch any Judy Garland movie. I especially love Meet Me in St. Louis, though. That one's like, I could just watch that over and over again. So speaking of guilty pleasures, should we move on to our other
rituals,
freeform topic?
Freeform, like we're rappers. Rap battle.
No, that's freestyle.
Freestyler. Oh Lord, there's just no taking us anywhere, is there?
No,
Yeah.
we're just going to embarrass ourselves.
Who's up for embarrassing ourselves? Yay! Okay, self-care rituals.
Who's starting?
I actually don't have that many lately, and maybe that's a reason why I'm destabilizing so much. But it used to be. I think part of my rituals to break between work and home was when I was in the office. The trip to and from home in the train was reading time, so I got to read and start decompressing. And when I got home, everyone in the house, like my son and my sister and my brother when he was living there as well, knew that I needed at least 30 minutes after getting home before you got in my face, because I needed that time to recover from being out of the house in meetings, around people all day, if I'd had a bad day, whatever. But, and I really, really, really miss this, we used to have an amazing bathtub, right?
Now you're talking my language.
Yeah. So the depth of it, just the depth of it, standing up was my knee height. It was really deep.
Yeah.
And it was long enough that I could lay down and not have to bend my legs up. It was amazing.
Yes.
I loved it. Since then, the last two places, last place we were in, the bathtub was about the size of a 6-year-old.
Yes, I hate that. Any bathtub where you are forced to sit upright and bend your
What's
knees
the
is
point
not
of
a
that?
bathtub.
Exactly. What's the
It
point?
is not a bathtub.
Right?
It is like a bucket.
So I had one whole bath in that before I went there. This is not relaxing. It's not pleasant at all, because I couldn't lay at all. Even bending my legs up, you had to sit up in it. This one here I can at least lay down in, but I need to keep my legs bent up. And so I love the other one because I could literally float in it. And when you've got back problems, that's also amazing to be able to fully relax and float in hot water. So good. That used to be a big one. I also used to go to the flotation tanks, the sensory deprivation flotation tanks.
Okay.
Yeah, they were amazing for back pain. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's great.
There's this weird one that's just shown up in my neighborhood that you're not floating, but it's like a heated, very soft bed, but it's like some kind of sound therapy, so the sound vibrations are supposed to be really relaxing, and I'm like, this has got to be this has got to be a scam.
Weird.
But part of me is kind of curious just to try it one time.
Fair enough.
See.
I do recommend trying the flotation pods out at least once, though.
Okay.
So,
I mean, I love a very hot bath. Because we renovated our house, we actually designed the downstairs bathroom around having a huge bathtub.
Yeah.
And it's so worth even now, every now and then I'll just be like, I need to take a day off. By about 10:30, the bathtub is full of water as hot as I can stand it, and I'm floating in it. That's my mental health day. Well, so I definitely agree with the hot bath.
The thing that annoyed me the most about the last place, right, was in both the bathrooms, so my ensuite and the main bathroom, the showers were the full length of the bathroom. I could literally lay down in there flat on, and that was the whole shower stall. What was the point of that? Smaller shower, put the bath in.
Yeah. Or just have a shower head over the bathtub, but have a big bathtub.
Right? I don't understand. What was the point of the orgy shower when I couldn't have a bathtub?
Yeah.
Yes, and that is what I called it, the orgy shower, because it was big enough to have 5 people in there, so...
Yeah, I don't understand the point of having that much space in the shower. It doesn't make sense to me.
Although the worst part was the combination of that with the solar hot water system, which is basically eternal hot water. Mm-hmm. So if you came home drunk, not that I know this from personal experience, this absolutely never happened, honest. If you came home drunk and got in the shower and just decided to sit on the floor in the shower with the hot water going over you because it felt so good... and just go, you know what, I'm just going to sit here for a while and close your eyes for a second. The cold water doesn't wake you back up. So, our water bills in that house were asphalt. Because, I'm a bit of a water bunny for a start. Daniel loved showers, so, he would go in and you wouldn't see him again for an hour and a half. So our water bills were insane. and not a single regret was had.
So my ritual that I don't get to do anymore. I do enjoy a good hot bath. That's one I still do get to have. But my ritual that I don't get to do anymore is, as I've mentioned, I'm not a winter person. I do get seasonal depression, and my way of coping with that used to be to go in my room, turn off all the lights, and put Murder Ballads by Nick Cave and the Bad
Oh,
Seeds
yep.
and sing really loud to
Yeah, you haven't really hit the bad place until you start singing Mercy Seat over and over again.
That one's not on Murder Ballads, but that's a good one
Yeah.
too. But I'm thinking of more Curse of Millhaven. You know that one?
Yes.
The little girl who murders everyone in her town. It was like a crazy serial killer.
And another one that your head's in a really weird black place if you start wanting to sing along to it is it's Paul Kelly and it's Everything's Turning to White.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're like, what kind of fucked up am I that I think this is... and Nick Cave and Kylie Minogue's Where the Wild Roses Grow.
Well, that one's on Murder Ballads.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do like that
one's
one.
pretty dark.
Yep.
And also his duet with PJ Harvey, Henry Lee. It's like an old ballad where the protagonist of the song, Henry Lee, basically decides to leave and not stay with the woman, so she stabs him.
Oh! Yeah. Music. Like, music is one of my self-care rituals. Like, when I'm having trouble being productive and focusing, I have specific playlists that I play. And it's because it's like, I read a lot about it with ADHD. Having fast tempo music actually helps us focus better and be productive. For some reason, it does something with our brain that makes us narrow in on something. And I do a lot of that when I have like deadlines and stuff. So I put on playlists that have weirdly Hamilton. The soundtrack Hamilton is good for it for most of it. Like, but if it's too slow, or it doesn't need to be slow, but if it's slower than a certain beats per minute or whatever, I don't know what it is. My brain starts detouring back over to singing along to it and getting distracted by it.
Yeah.
So there's this little... Yeah, anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's a proven thing, isn't it? There's heaps of studies there that... And music therapy is used in aged care facilities and dementia places, that music actually taps into a memory core that, helps change moods.
Thanks for joining us on Moments of Madness. If today's antics sparked joy or a bewildered chuckle, give us a follow.
Check out our socials for more information or discussion on any of our topics today, or to recommend a book, movie, game, or topic for future episodes.
Until next time, keep waving those freak flags high and embrace the beautifully bizarre.